under the banner of Law Learning Bench. Today, on 4th May 2025, I welcome our esteemed panelist, Honorable Justice Ajay Rastogi Sahab, former Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Karappa Binayangam, former Chief Justice Jharkhand High Court and now practicing in the Supreme Court of India, Honorable Dr. C. Agrawal, Adish C. Agrawal, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, and is also Chairman All India Bar Association. Mr. Amit Singh, Advocate, Supreme Court of India, and myself, Mithilesh Kumar Pandey. I am practicing at Supreme Court and I am also partner of the Supreme Law House LLP. A very good evening to all of you, and I am very much obliged by the presence of Honorable My Lordship Ajay Rastogi sir. On behalf of the Law Learning Bench, I extend a heartfelt welcome on the second day of the prestigious panel discussion on practical advocacy, legal ethics and cross-examination. I am Advocate Mithilesh Kumar Pandey, founder of Law Learning Bench, with blessing of former Chief Justice of India K.G. Balakrishnan sir, former Chief Justice of India G.V. Patnaik sir, and other judges, especially to former Judge Ajay Rastogi sir. It is an absolute honor to host this gathering of the country's foremost legal minds, great judges aimed at enriching the advocacy skills of aspiring lawyers across the India. We are truly humbled by the overwhelming response from more than 1.5 lakhs viewers who joined us through our various digital platforms. They are live also and through other social media platforms. Your participation strengthens our belief in the urgent need for accessible and practical legal education. At Law Learning Bench, our vision is driven by a deep conviction. Legal knowledge and mentorship must be democratized. In a nation where the legal landscape is evolving rapidly, many young advocates, especially from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities and rural regions, remain disconnected from real world of courtroom exposure, essential advocacy training, and meaningful mentorship. To bridge this pressing gap, we invited the Advocacy Skills Development Program. This initiative is designed to train first-generation lawyers in practical courtroom techniques, ethics, decision-making, persuasive communications, personality development, empathic client handling, how to handle the clients, and critical legal analysis. It also offers exposure to emerging and global legal domains, including cyber law and international practice. Today's panel discussion is a significant milestone in the journey. As part of our commitment to expanding opportunities, we are in the process. It means Law Learning Bench is in the process of forming collaborations and entering into the Memorandum of Understanding with British Council and other leading international law firms, one most reputed law firms in UK also. Our objective is clear: to cultivate excellence through skill building in areas such as judgment reading. Judgment reading is a very crucial thing. Interpretation of statutes, legal professionalism, negotiation, and problem solving. We are deeply privileged to be joined by towering figures in the Indian legal fraternity, luminaries, whose insights and experience will serve as an invaluable guide for the next generation of advocates. We thank you for being a part of transformative initiative. Let us continue building a future where quality legal education is not limited by boundaries but fueled by passion and purpose. Without further ado, I now request Neetu Mittal to kindly introduce our esteemed panelists, and thereafter our moderator Rishi Yogesh Pandey and Mr. Tiwari will initiate the function. Mr. Neetu Mittal.
Honorable Mr. Justice Ajay Rastogi, His Lordships, former Judge Supreme Court of India, His Lordships Honorable Mr. Karpada Vinayakam, former Chief Justice, Jharkhand High Court, Honorable Mr. Murari Tiwari, former Chairman, Bar Council of India, Honorable Dr. Adhish C. Agarwala, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, and Chairman, All India Bar Association, Mr. Amit Singh, Advocate, Supreme Court of India, and with Kesh Kumar Pandey, sir, Advocate, Supreme Court of India. On behalf of Law Learning Bench, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the second day of this first panel discussion of Law Learning Bench. First of all, I would like to take my heartfelt thanks to His Lordships, Honorable Mr. Justice Ajay Rastogi, former Judge Supreme Court of India, and one amongst India's most esteemed jurists. It is truly an honor to welcome you, sir. Born on 18 June 1958, His Lordships followed in the footsteps of his father and renowned civil lawyer late Sri Harish Chandra Rastogi and began his distinguished legal journey at the Rajasthan High Court in 1982. With specialization in constitutional, service and labour laws, his advocacy career was marked by integrity, scholarship and leadership, culminating in his role as the president of the Rajasthan High Court Bar Association in 1999 and 2000. Elevated to the Rajasthan High Court in 2004, His Lordships served with distinction in several judicial and administrative roles. He was the executive chairman of the Rajasthan State Legal Services Authority from 2013 to 2016. Under his leadership, the authority received the National Award from National Legal Services Authority. His Lordships has also held key positions as the Administrative Judge of the Rajasthan High Court. Thereafter, he was also elevated as the Chief Justice of the Rajasthan High Court and later as the Chief Justice of the Tripura High Court. On 2nd November 2018, he was elevated to the Supreme Court of India. His Lordships is known for his progressive and landmark judgments. In one of his judgments, he upheld gender equality in the armed forces and voted in favor of permanent commission rights for women officers in the Indian Navy. A pioneer of digital courtroom practices and now serving as the chairman of the All India Bar Association, His Lordships continue to be a thought leader in India's legal landscape. We are privileged to have you here, sir. And I would now like to request Mithilesh sir to please present a token of thanks to Honorable Justice Rastogi. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt thanks to His Lordships, Honorable Mr. Justice Karpada Vinayakam, former Chief Justice, Jharkhand High Court, for gracing this occasion with his gracious presence. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Sir is one amongst the many eminent figures in the Indian judiciary. With a distinguished career on the bench, he served as the Chief Justice of the Jharkhand High Court, where he was widely respected for his unwavering dedication to justice, fairness, and judicial integrity. As we all know, that legends never retire. After completing his tenure, His Lordships continue to contribute to the legal community as a senior advocate at the Supreme Court. His profound legal knowledge and continued advocacy have made a lasting impact on Indian jurisprudence. His work has been recognized by prestigious institutions such as the Indian Council of Jurists and All India Bar Association, reflecting his enduring commitment to the rule of law. We are honored to have you with us, sir. I would now like to request Mr. Mithilesh Kumar Pandey, sir, to please facilitate Honorable Justice, His Lordship, Mr. Karpada Vinayakam. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Honorable Mr. Murari Tiwari, Advocate and former Chairman, Bar Council of India, for gracing this panel discussion with his auspicious presence. Sir is an eminent figure figure in the Indian legal community and a dynamic leader at the bar. He is a law graduate from Campus Law Center, University of Delhi, and began his legal journey in 1991. His commitment to leadership and public service was evident early on, having been elected as the General Secretary of the Campus Law Center Students' Union in 1989. A dedicated advocate of institutional leadership, Sir was elected as Additional Secretary of the Delhi Bar Association at Tisazari Courts in 1999, where he served 3 times consecutively. His impactful work and popularity among legal professionals led to his first election to the Bar Council of Delhi in 2003. Since then, he has been elected for 3 consecutive terms, reflecting the deep trust and confidence of the legal fraternity in him. Sir served as the Honorary Secretary of the Bar Council of Delhi in 2010 and 2012 and has contributed in various critical roles, including as chair and member of committees such as the Enrollment Committee, Disciplinary Committee, and Indigent and Disabled Lawyers Committee. His tenure is marked by a consistent focus on the welfare, rights, and dignity of advocates across Delhi. In recognition of his leadership, he was unanimously elected as the chairman of the Bar Council of Delhi, where he continued his efforts to empower lawyers and enhance the institutional framework of the bar. Sir currently serves as the chairman of the Disciplinary Committee, 3rd, of the Bar Council of Delhi, and remains a guiding force in shaping the future of legal profession. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here. It is truly an honor to have you. I would also now like to thank Honorable Mr. Adish T. Agarwala, sir, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, for gracing this function, this panel discussion with his auspicious presence. It is an honor to have you here. Sir holds multiple positions globally and nationally. He is the President of the International Council of Jurists, London, and also the President of the International Commission of Writers, Geneva. He serves as the Chairman of the All India Bar Association and has previously served as the immediate past President of the Supreme Court Bar Association. He also chairs the National Citizens Committee and has served as Vice Chair of the Bar Council of India and Chairman of the Bar Council of Delhi. With vast legal experience, Sir has served as a Senior Additional Advocate General for the state of Haryana, Additional Advocate General for the state of Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, and also as a Special Counsel for the Government of India. His commitment to justice and public service makes him an invaluable voice in any legal discussion. It is truly an honor to have you here, sir. I would also like to thank Mr. Amit Singh, Advocate, Supreme Court of India, for deciding to help us and guide us with our future. We are pleased to have you here, sir. Mr. Amit, sir, is an advocate at the Supreme Court of India and High Court of Delhi. He also appears frequently before various high courts and tribunals across the country. With experience at leading Delhi law firms and close collaborations with senior advocates, he has built a robust practice in corporate and commercial litigation, insolvency and company laws, alternate dispute resolution, constitutional law, banking, telecommunications, etc. He has advised major corporates, public sector undertakings, non-governmental organizations, and regularly practices in legal seminars and conferences nationwide. Sir holds expertise in handling complex litigation and appellate matters before the Supreme Court, High Courts, NCLT, NCLAT, and other forums. His practice includes insolvency proceedings, arbitrations, writs, regulatory compliance, contract disputes, court management, and advocacy. He combines litigation skills with advisory, contract drafting, and dispute resolution capabilities, especially in high-stake commercial and economic fraud cases. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. And giving us the time. I would like I would also like to thank Mithilesh Kumar Pandey, sir. for being here and for organizing this event for our welfare, for bringing his lordships over here for their esteemed presence. Mithileshh Kumar Pandey, sir, he's a managing partner at Supreme Law House LLP and is a distinguished legal professional known for his unwavering commitment to constitutional values and public interest advocacy. He has built a formidable reputation over the past decade through his involvement in landmark public interest litigations that address critical issues of democratic governance and legal accountability. His notable cases include a 2014 public interest litigation challenging post-poll alliances and demanding election manifesto accountability, an effort that sparked most important conversations about the sanctity of political commitments. That same year, he sought the preservation of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's personal artifacts, which were housed in a private museum in Nagpur, asserting their national significance and advocating for government stewardship. In 2016, he drew attention to alleged irregularities in the lease extension of the Taj Palace Hotel by filing a case against the Delhi Development Authority, reinforcing his reputation as a defender of transparency in public institutions. Apart from his active litigation practice before the Supreme Court, High Courts, and various tribunals, Sir is equally committed to nurturing the next generation of legal professionals. His law firm, Supreme Law House LLP, is recognized for its strategic litigation in civil, commercial, arbitration, and criminal matters. The firm provides a dynamic platform for young lawyers, emphasizing mentorship and professional growth. Sir's career exemplifies a rare blend of legal acumen, civic responsibility, and strategic foresight, making her a respected voice in India's legal landscape and a dedicated guardian of constitutional integrity. Thank you so much.
Okay, Nitu, thank you very much.
Yes, I would now.
Thank you.
I will now invite Advocate Rishu Pandey and Advocate Abhyuday Tiwari to commence this fund and display and discussion.
Good afternoon, respected judges, esteemed advocates, and young members of the legal fraternity who have joined our live session. Welcome to day 2 of our panel discussion on advocacy in action, skills, and shape a litigation. Yesterday, we explored that foundational aspects of advocacy with a focus on bail applications. Today, we shift our lens to the core courtroom skills that often go unlearned in textbooks and internships. We aim to uncover what transforms an average courtroom appearance into effective advocacy, and more importantly, how young lawyers with limited access to mentorship or trial exposure can still learn, adapt, and excel. We will also proceed to talk about the art of examination and cross-examination, handling evidence, and overcoming the steep learning curve faced by young and small-town advocates. Let's begin the conversation, esteemed panelists. So, my first question with respect to ground realities and advocacy skill building for young lawyers is posed to Mr. Mithileshh Pandey, sir. Sir, in your experience, what part of advocacy do most young lawyers get wrong in their early years that lead to weak courtroom performance?
Rishu, in courtroom performance, what first generation lawyers and young lawyers, they have to learn actually what is advocacy skills. They come to directly to district court, first court or high court and Supreme Court and started their practice without knowing the real advocacy skills. Actually, what they do, they keep on reliance on the pleadings of the opposing party and pleadings of both the parties. Just I want to acknowledge with all our viewers, we have 1.5 lakh viewers and most of the viewers are from Bihar and UP and Rajasthan also. So let me allow to speak in their own local language. तो जो फर्स्ट जनरेशन लॉयर हैं वो करते क्या है कि उनका रिलायंस रिटर्न सबमिशन पे ज़्यादा होता है कि और रिटर्न सबमिशन और जो काउंटर रिप्लाई रिजॉइंडर फाइल होता है उसी के आधार पे अपनी तैयारी करते हैं. They fail to read the actual courtroom mood. कोर्टरूम का मूड क्या है वो स्टडी नहीं करते हैं. वो डायरेक्ट जंप कर जाते हैं आर्गुमेंट के ऊपर विदाउट नोइंग द फैक्ट्स ऑफ द कोर्ट्स. दूसरी गलती क्या करते हैं कि हमारे दिल्ली में या मुंबई हाई कोर्ट में बहुत सारे टॉप नॉच सीनियर लॉयर्स हैं. यहाँ जैसे कपिल सिब्बल जी सीनियर लॉयर हैं, बहुत ही फेमस लॉयर हैं कपिल सिब्बल साहब, हरीश साल्वे साहब. तो जो फर्स्ट जनरेशन लॉयर हैं वो कोर्ट रूम बैठ के जब कोर्ट रूम रीड करते हैं तो कोर्ट रूम को रीड ना करके वो सीनियर एडवोकेट को रीड करते हैं और उनकी मिमिक करते हुए डायरेक्ट ऐसा करने की कोशिश करते हैं विदाउट नोइंग द फैक्ट्स कि सीनियर लॉयर ऐसा वो कोर्ट रूम में वो स्ट्रेटेजी क्यों अपनाते हैं। उनको एक्चुअल स्ट्रेटेजी नहीं मालूम होता है, वो डायरेक्ट एक सीनियर एडवोकेट की मिमिक करने लगते हैं, वहां वो फेल हो जाते हैं क्योंकि उस मिमिक के बाद जब काउंटर क्वेश्चन कोर्ट पूछता है तो उसको वो बता नहीं पाते। तो एक्चुअली मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा यंग लॉयर से कि उनको एडवोकेसी स्किल सीखना चाहिए। ये गलतियां नहीं करना चाहिए कि सिर्फ रिलायंस और रिटर्न सबमिशन पर रिलायंस करें या आर्गुमेंट लीड करते समय कोर्ट का मूड न देखे। उनको स्किल्स सीखना चाहिए। स्किल्स कोई इंजीनियरिंग या मेडिकल साइंस नहीं है कि कोई टेक्निक सीखेंगे। एक्चुअली ये इस पर टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ता है। उनको कोर्ट रूम में बैठ के जैसे मैटर लगा अगर 4 तारीख को तो उनको 2 तारीख 3 तारीख 1 तारीख को कोर्ट रूम में बैठ के देखना चाहिए कि किस क्वेश्चन को जज साहब कैसे लेते हैं, किस क्वेश्चन पे इरिटेट होते हैं, किस पॉइंट पे वो खुश होते हैं, उनका मूड क्या है, कोर्ट को वो कैसे लेते हैं। आपने सुना होगा बहुत सारे सीनियर एडवोकेट ये स्ट्रेटेजी लगाते हैं कि बेल का आर्गुमेंट है तो वो पास ओवर ले लेते हैं कि 2 दिन बात करेंगे। उनको लगता है कि ये कोर्ट का जो रोस्टर है वो चेंज होने वाला है और इस जज का मूड ऐसा है। तो एक इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट में जस्टिस ओक साहब थे, उन्होंने एडवोकेसी स्किल्स के ऊपर बहुत ही अच्छा बोला है। उन्होंने ये बोला एडवोकेसी स्किल्स के ऊपर कि जो एप्लीकेंट का एडवोकेट है और जो रिस्पोंडेंट का एडवोकेट है दोनों की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि अपने अपने क्लाइंट को प्रोटेक्ट करें, उनका इंटरेस्ट प्रोटेक्ट करें, लेकिन साथ ही ये भी जिम्मेदारी है कि कोर्ट को असिस्ट करें कि ट्रूथ तक पहुंचने के लिए कि व्हाट इज द ट्रूथ। जस्टिस डिलीवर करने में कोर्ट को उनको असिस्ट करना है। अभी दोनों कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी लगता है कि जज को भी असिस्ट करना है और क्लाइंट का भी फेवर लेना है। एक्चुअली ये दोनों कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी नहीं है। अगर सही में समझे तो 2 साइड में 2 एडवोकेट होते हैं, दोनों अपने अपने क्लाइंट की जब फेवर लेंगे तो ये भी अपना फैक्ट्स बताएंगे, वो भी इसका फैक्ट्स बताएंगे। दोनों अपने अपने ढंग से बातों को जब सही ढंग से रखेंगे, इसके गलत फैक्ट्स को दूसरा एडवोकेट जो अपोजिट साइड का वो उसको काउंटर करेगा और अपोजिट साइड का एडवोकेट का कोई गलत फैक्ट बोलता है तो दूसरे साइड का एडवोकेट उसको काउंटर करेगा। इन चीजों से जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ जस्टिस है वो सही होगी और कोर्ट को समझने में मदद मिलेगी कि एक्चुअली जजमेंट क्या देना है। तो इस काइंड से एडवोकेसी स्किल्स के और भी कई तरीके हैं, मैं आपको बताऊंगा। अभी तो मिस्टर ऋषि योगेश पांडे का क्वेश्चन ये था कि यंग एडवोकेट क्या गलतियां करते हैं, तो गलतियां यही करते हैं कि रिटर्न सबमिशन पे ज्यादा रिलाई करते हैं और कोर्ट का आपको ठीक से समझते नहीं है, कोर्ट का मूड नहीं समझते हैं और सीनियर की मिमिक्री करते हुए उनकी स्ट्रेटेजी को मेजर नहीं कर पाते हैं।
On what Mr. Sir has just talked about, I will put a question to Adish sir. Sir, what is that one basic core practical skill would you recommend that every young lawyer should adhere to or generate or make more?
First of all, they should treat judge also on equal footing. When they feel that there is so much gap, then they will not in a corner utter a single word. They should be master of the facts and the law. Once you are master of these both in specific case, then they will not fear. That may be the first hearing in their life. They will be confident, and once the lawyer is confident, then judge will be also feeling that he is putting a right point. So he will get the desired result, even if he may be not right on facts, but when he is talking, arguing confidently, then judge will be influenced by that.
Thank you.
So, with regard to the same, I have the next question which I would like to pose to Justice Sanjay Rastogi sir. So, similar to what I asked to Mr. Mithilesh Pandey sir, at what young lawyers, what mistakes do young lawyers commit in their early days? So he and Adish sir, they gave their perspective from the bar side. What would you have to say, sir, from the bench's perspective, sir?
I have an experience of working as a lawyer. I have an experience of working as a judge.
Yes.
See, we are working. Lawyers are nothing more than a representative of the litigant. We are representing the litigant, and their cause or worries are being projected by a lawyer to the court with an object that the court will deliver justice to him. That is the object. Lawyer has a double role, I'll tell you. There is a back office and the front office. We project as if the lawyer who present before the court is a lawyer. Back office is more important than the front office. बैक ऑफिस में आप केस की प्रिपरेशन करते हैं, केस की प्लीडिंग्स तैयार करते हैं, केस पे रिसर्च वर्क करते हैं. It is only possible by a lawyer, not by somebody else. So you need skills. How to make research, how to concise the pleadings which are relevant to the dispute. So that is also a kind of a skill which the lawyer needs. After the back office work is over, then the front office of the lawyer's skill goes on. मैं पांडे साहब और अजीज की दोनों से वाक़या करता हूँ इस बात पे. मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि उसको लॉ के अलावा दूसरे सब्जेक्ट्स की भी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए. वो एक्सपीरियंस उसकी स्किल को बेटर करता है. He has the power to explain, और एक लैंग्वेज पे कमांड होना चाहिए. आपने देखा होगा बहुत समय लॉयर के पास बहुत मटेरियल है, क्लैरिटी भी है, सब्जेक्ट की नॉलेज भी है, और कम्युनिकेशन स्किल वीक है. तो एक लॉयर के लिए जो फ्रंट ऑफिस में काम करता है, मेरे हिसाब से जब तक उसकी ओरेटरी अच्छी नहीं होगी, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल नहीं होगी, he can't be able to persuade the court. Because ultimately he has to deliver to the court and explain that what is the grievance of my client which the court is able to understand. So that is possible only when you have a communication skill. Otherwise, I can't explain advocacy in 2-3 minutes. But my only view is that those lawyers who are committed, marshalling of the facts from the back office, have a good oratory, have a persuasion skill, clarity, uprightness, and one thing, never mislead the court. Sometimes we distract ourselves, keeping in mind that what is being projected and what is being perceived by a judge, my client may not get agree, may or may not. But if a lawyer is concerned, he should never mislead the court on facts or on law. If that skill is developed by a lawyer, my personal experience is sky is the limit for a professional to achieve.
Thank you so much for your insight, sir. So, on similar terms, Justice Vinay, I have a question for you, sir. So, for lawyers who come from smaller towns or those who lack mentorship, what are some realistic ways they can self-train in advocacy, especially in trial practice?
Humble pronounced to the panels and words, especially Justice Ajay Rastogi. In fact, in my experience, the lawyer profession is the best profession because we are learning every day.
Yes.
We call it in Tamil Nadu, it's called the degree name is BL. Here is LLB. So, Bachelor of Laws.
Yes.
This is actually LLB, this is the Bachelor of Laws. We are giving education.
Yes.
That's the reason knowledge you acquire, shared with others. If a knowledge you acquire, if it is not shared, your mind will become a storehouse. If a knowledge acquired, shared with others, your mind will become a lighthouse. So you have to decide whether your mind must be lighthouse or storehouse and all.
Sir.
We must have learned something in our life, something, we have to achieve something great in life.
Yes.
That's the reason study law, one. Before that, you study other books also.
Other than yours.
And in fact, my life and all,
Sir.
I am very much inspired by my experiment with Mahatma Gandhi
Yes.
and Vivekananda's speeches. In fact, I become a successful lawyer, I become a successful judge only because of the discipline maintained, because of taught by Vivekananda and Mahatma Gandhi.
Sir.
That's a great thing.
Yes.
Point is, life is a challenge, face it. Life is a crisis, manage it. Life is a game, play it. Life is a song, sing it. Life is a law, follow it. Life is a love, enjoy it.
Sir.
That's called life. Life has got a 4 letters, L-I-F-E.
Sir.
L means live in love. I means ignore the bad. F means fight against the troubles. E means enjoy every moment of your life.
Sir.
That's called it.
Sir.
जीवन एक लक्ष्य है, जीवन एक प्रेम है,
Sir.
जीवन एक सुंदर है,
Sir.
जीवन एक पूजनीय है, जीवन एक स्वर्ग है, उसको अनुभव करना चाहिए.
Sir.
Isn't it?
Sir.
Yesterday is a waste paper,
Sir.
today is a newspaper, tomorrow is a question paper.
Sir.
What is the answer paper? Life. Handle the issues. You can handle every day you are learning. That's a law profession. You are learning every day.
Sir.
And in my experience, one case I dealt with, I want to, as a lawyer, I became the prosecutor in Madras High Court.
Sir.
Then I resigned and then came to law profession. One case came to me. Because that is a case of 307. Husband pouring kerosene over the body of the wife. 90% of burning injuries. That is why he was convicted for 307, 10 years.
Sir.
Filing appeal. Appeal is pending. That matter came to me. I have to argue the matter for acquittal.
Yes.
When I go through the matters and all very, very clear, because I was a prosecutor.
Yes, sir.
Naturally, my eye will be prosecuting side.
Yes.
It's a very good case. It's not for acquittal, but you can ask for a redemption. So I advise the client, Mr. Client, will you convey, will you accept for my condition for accepting this case? Yes, sir. How many acres you have got the property? It's 50 acres. If it is 50 acres, because wife is there, alive, 307 only.
Yes.
Can you settle the 25 acres in favor of wife? Yes, sir. I will do it. I am very happy. Matter came before the judge. My lord, this is not a case for acquittal. I said,
Sir.
I am appealing for him. Then he attacked the judges and all. Because I was fair.
Yes.
Judge says, yes, Mr. Kappavanayagam, what is it? I want to settle the matter, brought my judge. 1 week.
Sir.
I told him, he went and settled the properties 25 acres in favor of the wife
Sir.
and come back.
Sir.
Sir, this is a document. He has come with not only document, he has come with wife also. Wife comes, sir, you make my husband acquittal.
Sir.
The very same wife gives the evidence against him, conviction. Now she's a situation now.
Yes.
And then in that context, what is your role of advocate? That's the reason I am saying that.
Yes, sir.
That's the reason my comedy, but I have got a social conscience. I want to help that fellow. And I want to help the lady also.
Sir.
Because I got an impression he has given a very, very serious injuries and all. He has caused sustained serious injuries.
Sir.
So he must be punished.
Yes.
That's my contention. That's my conception. Then I told Judge this is a case, not, I promised, it's not for acquittal. Because I have to stay. I want to be shown the fairness.
Sir.
Then I want to argue the matter on personal sentence.
Sir.
Then judge said, I was under the impression he is very much inspired by my conduct.
Sir.
Mr. Kappavanayagam, you argue the matter. Just read the papers.
Sir.
I have read the papers. A statement given to the magistrate, given to the FIR, other things and all, doctors, all these things and all. Then judge asked the prosecutor. The prosecutor said, even for personal sentence, no. Judge got angry with me.
Okay.
No, Mr. Kappavanayagam very fair says and all.
Yes.
So I was very fair. I was very sure that I will get a reduction sentence. The 10 years, either 5 years or fine and all. Then matter adjourned. Then the lady came to my office, sir, please ask for acquittal. I want to join with him. You see, that really happened.
Sir. Sir.
Climax something, another thing. And matter came and argued the matter. The Lord said. Then argued the matter. Matter was reserved for judgment. Friday, it was reserved Monday. Why is the Friday evening she came and cries? No. Don't ask for acquittals. Then Monday comes, first matter, judge calls him. Mr. Hereafter, don't cause any injuries on your wife. Your husband, your lawyer asked for a question of sentence. I don't want to. This is not a reduction of sentence. I am acquitting.
Yes.
He says acquitting. I never expected. I only asked for a question of sentence. He said acquitting. I felt that I am acquitted. Then I will be very happy. But by heart and God, it's a very serious offense and something fellow has been acquitted and all. Then evening, next day evening, he came, both of them put a garland before me. He gave me a cover of currency notes and all. I just said, we already got a fees and all. Then they came out, this is a climax and notes. This is an important thing to be known to the lawyers and all. Any lawyer, lady came. Sir, I want to say one thing. Yes, where is your husband? Immediately you are separated. No, sir. I want to tell you what happened. My husband did not pour kerosene over me. He did not cause any injury to me.
Sir.
See the situation. He did not cause injury to me. My father sent the Pongal Silvarisai through the Dalit Harijans. He got angry. My husband got angry. He was abusing my father. I got angry. I went to the bathroom, took a kerosene bottle and poured myself and set it fire. On seeing this, my father-in-law came and saved me and took me to the hospital and asked me to tell, don't accuse your husband and all. Say that it is a stillbirth. Then I gave a stillbirth statement. Then doctors come. My father came and asked me, no, he will not take you back. Husband, take you, all the injuries are there. Please give a statement to the magistrate saying that your husband only poured kerosene.
So basically, sir, you're saying other than representing your client, you also need to be the officer of the court. True to the court, sir.
This is fairness. Not only fairness. I thought fairness, we got an acquittal. But real thing is that he did not commit an offence.
Sir, with regard
So
to-
truth prevails.
Yes.
I am saying that whether conviction or acquittal and all, ultimately God serves.
Yes.
And nobody can escape and all for his karma actions and all.
Sir, true to the court, true to the self, true to the client.
There is a saying, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshidaha.
Sir.
If you protect Dharma,
Sir.
Dharma will protect you. If you protect law, law will protect you.
Yes, sir.
That is the reason, young juniors, and I requested you study law and in fact study lot of judgment.
Sir.
Legal language is very important.
Sir.
You know Hindi, Malayalam, all these things and all. English is very much important because all the judgments of Supreme Court and all you in English only.
Sir.
So legal language.
Sir,
On that very line, sir, so as what Justice Rastogi said and you, sir, followed up, I would like to pose a question to Rastogi, sir, again. Sir, in advocacy, mentorship becomes very important and is a very popular saying in our profession, as horses belongs to stables, lawyers belong to chambers. So, sir, what would you suggest the young lawyers to look into their mentors, or what qualities should they look into a chamber that can teach them or guide them to the right direction?
You see, we have to see what is the ground reality now. If you go back to 2 or 3 decades back, every lawyer coming to profession was joining from chamber. And chamber has its own reputation regarding respect. And those who left those chambers at a later point of time, they felt privileged that I belong to chamber of so and so. But I find in the last almost a decade and on, this chamber business has completely eclipsed. Legal chamber business. So, I don't know whether it is good or bad, but chamber was good in the earlier time because you learn there, you learn code ethics, you learn discipline, you learn how to respond to the people, you know what the culture you have to follow. Now, every law graduate is, after enrollment, become a lawyer in itself.
Sir.
That is the problem which you are facing now. So my request only to young lawyers and budding lawyers is, you may make a mentor or not, is your choice. You want to join someone's reputed chamber, is your choice. But please learn court craft while sitting in court.
Sir.
Learn how the lawyers plead, how the lawyers present their matters, how the lawyers perceive the query made by the court, how the court crafts is being developed by them, because they have a rich experience of working. And you will not find somewhere in books. This all you learn by experience. And experience you gain by time. You can't gain experience overnight. So my only request and advice to the young lawyers is, please spend your time in court, learn the seniors how they perform, how they made their queries to the court, and how much the clarity on the subject they have. If these things are being followed by them, even if you don't have a mentor or you don't have a chamber, by passage of time you will learn. That's my view. I think if they follow, something will come forward in times to come. Thank you.
थैंक यू सर। तो मुरारी सर, आपके लिए भी एक मेरे पास एक प्रश्न है इसी के आगे बढ़ते हुए। हम सर जैसे सुनते हैं कि हमने अपनी इंटर्नशिप में भी सीखा, और जब कोर्ट रूम में बैठते थे सर, हम जजेस के साथ इंटर्नशिप कर रहे हैं, लॉयर्स के साथ इंटर्नशिप कर रहे हैं, या हम इंडिपेंडेंटली हम सिर्फ घूम ही रहे हैं ऑब्जर्व करने के लिए कि क्या चल रहा है कोर्ट में, क्योंकि हमें पता तो होता नहीं था अपने लॉ स्कूल में। उस समय सर हमें ये आपस में सुनने को मिलता था, लॉयर्स बात कर रहे हैं या फिर जजेस भी ऐसे सलाह दे रहे हैं कि आप समझना सीखिए कि आपको कहाँ ठहरना है, कहाँ हार माननी है और कहाँ और एग्रेसिव होना है। इसके ऊपर सर आपका क्या विचार रहेगा?
It's a matter of an honor to join the panel discussion with my Lord Justice Ajay Rastogi and Kapa Vinayagam, and thanks to Mithilesh Pandey. It's a very fruitful discussion, and I realize that it is a need of the hour. The reason is that in the year 1991, I would like to share my experience. When I joined the bar, sir, what I noticed that unless you are not known to anybody, so nobody is there to take care of you. Graduated from Campus Law Center, University of Delhi, and when I was there as a student leader, also got elected as General Secretary. So I was dreaming like that I'll go and I'll join Jethmalani at that time, and there were many other contemporary senior advocates, and what I was thinking that what they'll ask for, they will say that we will not pay you, and even without payment I'll join them and I'll try to learn something from them. But when I joined the bar, I realized that these kind of personalities, even they don't allow you to enter into their offices, even their clerk doesn't allow you to enter into their offices. I'm talking about the pain of a lawyer who doesn't have any background, and he comes as a first generation lawyer in the profession. And then I realized that even in this profession, nobody is ready to take me even without paying even a single penny. Sir, this was the hard reality. Then I approached one of my professor. Then he said that you go and join a lawyer. He was asking for a junior in Tisari. Then I went to my senior that then, and fortunately he was also Mr. Rastogi, and he was having hardly 8 or 9 years practice at that time. I was his first junior in Tisari. I learned a lot. Actually, what I want to say that in case you are interested to learn in profession, you can learn from anybody. So his IQ was very sharp, and being a Rastogi, I learned how to make money also from the clients and everything. The point is that I treated him like my guru, and even today I treat him not less than Mr. Jethmalani or anybody else. I have all regards for him. Then what I realized that after completing law graduation, when you are coming directly to the profession, so you are as a fresher, you are not even aware about anything. Then I got elected as a bar council member in 2003, and my motive and ambition was to get introduced this internship program. Sir, it was a very necessary part of the law graduations. The reason is that when a first year student, after attending his semester, when he is going to a law chamber or going to court, at least his hesitation is being removed slowly. By 5 years, he becomes almost a complete lawyer. When I enrolled him as a lawyer in Bar Council and granted him license to practice, by that time, you can ask him many procedural things from him, and he has a courage to stand before a court. So, what we were talking about, court crafting, it comes by way of experience only. I remember my days when we were there before the court as a first year law practitioner, so the legs were shivering and like you were not able to convey the things or communicate the things, and more particularly for the students who were from Hindi background or from other regional background, so they are not capable of, unless they are not studied from modern schools and public schools. So these differences were there. But now, even a Hindi medium student who is doing law 5 years course and doing internship properly for 5 years, Amit, so he is capable of standing before the court, and by 5 years he learns a lot. So this difference, sir, has come by this passage of time, I noticed, and really I believe that it was a good move. And the another thing which I noticed in this profession, sir was talking about the chambers. So even today we suffer. I should not say that what kind of sufferings are there, but sir, it matters that from which chamber I belong to, who was my senior. So it matters, sir. And recently I faced when there was a question of senior designation. So many of us were very junior, and even they were not up to the mark, and they got designated, and many of them either they got defer or their applications were rejected.
Sir,
So the
all
point
that-
is that lot of pain are there. So the good thing is that young lawyers, they have to understand only one thing. Like Murari Tiwari, you can also work hard and you can achieve everything. So becoming chairman of the apex statutory body, or like sirs, they are here, they must have a started journey with zero background. But the point is that you should have commitment as a young lawyer. You should not, make a lot of ambitions at a very initial stage. The difference which I am noticing, sir, nowadays when a youngster is coming to your office, they are asking for money first. But when I joined the bar, or you people must have joined the bar, we were joining the bar with a motive to learn. That by a year or 2 or 3, I learned from the senior, and those juniors, they were becoming very good lawyers. But when you are negotiating your salary with your senior, then your senior can ask you to do any damn thing, even administrative work, even clerical work, you will be forced to do anything. But when you are serving free or simply getting a very petty stipend, at that time we were able to learn many things which we
Sir,
were
on that
in
very
agenda.
follow-up, I'll ask Mukhilesh sir. So, what are the more things a law college could teach a student, or a law student should aspire to learn in a law college, so is better equipped to practice litigation, or be well equipped in total?
Kindly repeat your question.
Sir, in regards to what has been discussed, what is a law college should more teach a student to make them better prepared in the litigation?
Okay, you mean to you want to know that can the is there any scope for the law colleges
Yes.
to amend their syllabus? How the students behave in the
Yes.
courts and what is the practical training?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to come to the question. Actually, during the college life, all the students had to read the things which are approved by the Bar Council of India and as per the syllabus and curriculum provided to them. they can't do much for the students who are going to practice and going to survive on the basis of their profession. So अभी right now क्या है कि we are with the judges. Our great judges, former Judge Rastogi sir and former Chief Justice of India is with us. अभी हम ये जान सकते हैं कि कोर्ट रूम में जज क्या चाहते हैं. No one dare to ask to judges during the proceedings कि जज साहब आप क्या चाहते हैं क्या हमसे. Immediately they can impose some fine or contempt proceedings or anything. But we are very lucky, and our 1.5 lakh viewers and all the students and the person who registered themselves with the law learning bench, ये बहुत ही अच्छा क्वेश्चन है कि आज वो जज साहब के सामने है और वो पूछ सकते हैं कि जज साहब चाहते क्या हैं. जज साहब कोर्ट में चाहते क्या, हमें ये समझना जरूरी है. जज साहब जो मैंने समझा है ड्यूरिंग द कोर्ट प्रोसीडिंग्स कि जज साहब ये समझते हैं कि आपका केस क्या है. जज साहब ये समझना चाहते हैं कि आप एडवोकेट्स को ये बोलते हैं अपनी आंखों की भाषा में, इफ यू लर्न हाउ टू डेवलप द आई कॉन्टेक्ट विद जजेस. होता क्या है, मैक्सिमम जो फर्स्ट जैसा लॉयर है वो पूरा ध्यान वो फाइल पे वो पढ़ के आते हैं, वहाँ मार्किंग करते हैं कि ये पढ़ना, ये लाल पीला नीला पेन से बना के आते हैं और यही पढ़ते हैं. और जज साहब बोलते हैं आप मेरी तरफ देखो और बताओ व्हाट इज द केस. और जब वो जज साहब की तरफ देखता है तो वो नर्वस हो जाता है. जब वो उनकी आंखों में देखेगा आई कांटेक्ट, जैसे जो बड़े सीनियर एडवोकेट हैं वो जज साहब की आंखों में देख के आई कांटेक्ट. जज चाहते क्या है, जज ये चाहते हैं कि ये एडवोकेट जो प्लेंटिफ का एडवोकेट है हमें न्याय तक पहुंचने में मदद करे, टू फाइंड आउट द ट्रूथ. और अपोजिट साइड से भी यही चाहते हैं कि हमें वो जस्टिस तक पहुंचाए. सच क्या है वो प्लेंटिफ का एडवोकेट जानता है और रेस्पोंडेंट का एडवोकेट जानता है. दोनों को मालूम है कि सच क्या है. जज साहब को सच तक पहुंचना है. तो जज साहब ये नहीं चाहते अपने क्लाइंट का फेवर न लीजिए, वो चाहते हैं कि अपने क्लाइंट का फेवर लेने से पहले आप पूरे फैक्ट्स पढ़ के आइए, रिसर्च करके आइए, क्लाइंट से मिलिए. सपोज कीजिए क्राइम का सीन है और जज साहब ने बोला कि क्राइम के समय कितनी दूर था थाना और आपने वो पढ़ा नहीं, इसी में FIR पढ़ा, आप जज साहब को बता नहीं पाए. तो जज साहब ये एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि आप पूरा फैक्ट स्टडी कीजिए, उसके बाद बेयर एक्ट पढ़ के आइए, उसके बाद कमेंट्री पढ़िए. ये एडवोकेसी स्किल्स है कि पहले बेयर एक्ट पढ़िए, फिर कमेंट्री पढ़िए, फिर गूगल पे रिसर्च कीजिए, उसके बाद क्लाइंट का ब्रीफिंग लीजिए, फिर आप जज साहब की क्वेरी को बता पाएंगे. तो मैं ये कहता अच्छा अब इसमें कोई कंफ्लिक्ट नहीं है. आपने जो पूछा है उसका एक्चुअल आंसर ये है कि जज साहब चाहते हैं कि हमें न्याय करने दो और न्याय करने में मदद कैसे होगी ये बहस करो. आप क्लाइंट से फीस ले चुके हैं और आपका क्या काम है कि अपने क्लाइंट को न्याय दिलाना, वेदर ही इज राइट और रॉन्ग. अब ये कंफ्लिक्ट है, कंफ्लिक्ट बिटवीन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द जज एंड इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द क्लाइंट. क्लाइंट चाहता है हम जीत जाए और जज चाहता है कि सही तरीके से फैसला हो, टू एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ जस्टिस. लेकिन ये कंफ्लिक्ट एक्चुअली है नहीं. जब अपने क्लाइंट के सारे फैक्ट्स जज साहब को बताएंगे और गलत फैक्ट बताएंगे तो अपोजिट साइड फैक्ट्स को सही कर देगा. तो एडवोकेसी स्किल क्या है कि नेवर ट्राई टू मिसलीड द कोर्ट, नेवर ट्राई टू कंफ्यूज द कोर्ट, you always try to convince the court. This is advocacy skills. A court wants to know the everything, so you have to master the facts, you have to master the law.
Please, sir.
आपके दो क्वेश्चन. फर्स्ट था रिगार्डिंग कैरिकुलम. आप देखेंगे कि बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया इज द पायनियर टू टेक अ कॉल और वो कैरिकुलम सारा प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं. अगर आप किसी भी लॉ ग्रेजुएट से पूछेंगे जिसकी 5 साल की वकालत हो कि आपने जो लॉ में सीखा था या 3 साल के लॉ के पीरियड में पढ़ा था कितना काम आ रहा है, तो शायद 90% का जवाब ये होगा कि काम नहीं आ रहा है.
Correct.
मैं इस बात को नहीं मानता.
नहीं मानते सर.
फॉर द रीजन इज वन
Yes.
कि आपने लॉ कैरिकुलम में CPC पढ़ा, आपने CRPC पढ़ा, आपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ा, आपने एविडेंस पढ़ा, आपने हिंदू लॉ पढ़ा. वो सारे लॉ ही आप काम ले रहे हैं, बट दैट वाज द बेसिक टूल. नाउ हाउ टू डेवलप इट, दैट इज द आर्ट ऑफ एडवोकेसी. तो ये कहना कि जो हमने लॉ में पढ़ा वो प्रैक्टिकली काम नहीं आ रहा, वो गलत है. लॉ में पढ़ा है इसलिए आई एम एबल टू आंसर.
Sir.
I am able to find out where the law to my client finds place, whether it is in the constitution, whether it is in Hindu law, whether it is the CPC or the criminal procedure code. ये मैं say now. This is the curriculum. But मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया को यहाँ से इस प्लेटफॉर्म से आपको थोड़ा प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच करिकुलम को चेंज करने में लानी पड़ेगी. There is a sea change in the nature of litigation. हम अभी भी उस ट्रेडिशनल लॉ फैकल्टी पे करिकुलम पे चल रहे हैं. बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया को चाहिए कि आज की रिक्वायरमेंट को देखते हुए, आज की नीड और रिक्वायरमेंट को देखते हुए मेक दिस योर करिकुलम मोर कंपैटिबल, which will be useful for the coming generation doing law for their future development. That is one thing. जहाँ तक आपने स्किल की बात करी, और हिसाब से मैं वाकई रखूंगा, स्किल आपको कहीं किसी किताब में या गूगल पे नहीं मिलेगा. आप स्किल सर्च करेंगे तो आपको गूगल पे या यूट्यूब पे वो स्किल मिलेगा जो ये कोचिंग क्लासेस पढ़ाते हैं. उनका कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं है, उन कोचिंग क्लासों वालों का कोई आईक्यू नहीं है. उन्होंने तो अपने एक्सपीरियंस की बेसिस पे स्किल बना दिया. मेरे हिसाब से स्किल एडवोकेसी अगर डेवलप करनी है, which is back office and the front office. फ्रंट ऑफिस में जो लॉयर काम कर रहा है उसको जब तक उसकी बढ़िया ऑरेटरी नहीं होगी, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल नहीं होगी, आंखों में आंखें देखने से तो गड़बड़ हो जाती है. अगर उसमें स्किल है, कम्युनिकेशन की क्लैरिटी है, थॉट की, सब्जेक्ट की कमांड है, लॉ पे पकड़ है, पर आपको सबसे पहले ये सोच के आना पड़ेगा कि मेरे खिलाफ कोर्ट क्या प्रश्न कर सकते हैं, और अगर मेरे पास उस प्रश्न का आंसर है जो मैं एक्सपेक्ट करता हूँ कोर्ट से, देन ही इज अ गुड लॉयर इन प्रैक्टिस. और अगर आप उस क्वेश्चन को विजुलाइज नहीं कर सकते जो आपके खिलाफ कोर्ट पुट कर सकती है, तो शायद आई थिंक यू आर नॉट एबल टू आंसर द क्वेरी ऑफ कोर्ट एंड यू माइट फेल in persuading on the plea which you want to put to plea. That is much better.
Thank you so much for the insight, sir.
So this is a big question. What types of teaching for the students and all to become a good lawyer and all this one thing. The basic things are for lawyers, household and all. The knowledge is important, more important wisdom. Scholarship is important, more important determination. Music is important, melody is more important. Learning is important, but humility is more important. Speech is important, truth is very important. Friendship is important, but gratitude is more important. And society is important, more important discipline. Ajay Rastogi referred to discipline. In fact, discipline, it has got convey a message. What is discipline? When you become a man, full man, discipline has got 10 letters. D, alphabet number of D, 4, I, 9, S, 19, C, 3, P, 16, L, 12, I, 9, N, 14, E, 5. Have the total? Hundreds. only when you get 100 marks, you got discipline. You will be successful. You have to be successful, sir. We are born to achieve some purpose. First thing, you consider your India. Great. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. I love myself. More than myself, I love my wife. More than my wife, I love my community.
Yes.
More than my community, I love my country. More than my country, I love all humanity.
Yes.
You know, a law student coined a poem about India. Oh, what a beautiful India. Punjab for fighting, Bengal for writing. Oh, what a beautiful India. Kashmir for beauty, Andhra for duty. Oh, what a beautiful India. Rajasthan for history, Maharashtra for victory. Oh, what a beautiful India. Mysore for silk, Haryana for milk. Oh, what a beautiful India. Assam for agitation, Madhya Pradesh for vegetation. Oh, what a beautiful India. Orissa for temples, temples, Jharkhand for minerals. Oh, what a beautiful India. Kerala for brains, Tamil Nadu for grains. Oh, what a beautiful India. That must be
Student must be, this poem coined by a law student in Madras.
Sir, that was truly insightful, sir.
You come to cross, no?
Sir, so since we were talking about skills, the actual skills, so one of the skills that what I believe and our team also believe that examination, a lawyer must know how to conduct examination in chief and cross examination, because that's where a particular case, when it comes to trial, falls squarely. So with regard to that, I have a question for Mr. Amit Singh, sir. Sir, how crucial do you believe is cross examination in assessing the credibility? Sir, I'll repeat, sir. How crucial is cross examination in assessing the credibility and reliability of evidence in trial courts?
Thank you, first of all, and thank you very much to sir, respected honorable judges and senior panelists, sir. So far as the credibility of evidence is considered, cross-examination plays a very vital role in examining a witness which has been produced by the other side. And cross-examination is something which gives a right to accuse or the defendant's counsel or the counsel for accused to protect the rights of his client. So far as the credibility and other things are considered, this can only be verified once a lawyer has thorough knowledge of the facts. Additionally, before conducting the cross-examination, it is necessary to have a complete knowledge of statement recorded by the recorded in the charge sheet or all the documents which has been put by the investigating officer, and in the civil case, evidence by way of affidavit is the document based on which cross-examination is conducted by the defendant's counsel. So in both the cases, civil and criminal, the cross-examination, before conducting cross-examination, as a counsel, what we do, that we do preparation of all the facts on record. Most importantly, the particular evidence or the statement made by the particular witness who has given the testimony before the court to affirm a particular issue or charge, because we know that in criminal case the charge is the main thing against which we continue the proceedings, and in civil case the issues are framed. So the very objective is to establish or de-establish the charges or the issues.
Basically, talking about the credibility of a particular evidence.
Correct.
So, in continuation to the same, sir, I have a supplementary question for Justice Rastogi, sir. Sir, we have heard that cross-examination is an art. So, what are the biggest myths and myths that young advocates believe about cross-examination, and what's the actual truth?
cross-examination जानने से पहले आपको जानना पड़ेगा एग्जामिनेशन
Sir.
आपको ये जानना पड़ेगा कि एग्जामिनेशन चीफ की रिक्वायरमेंट क्यों होती है। जब भी आप कोई अपना ग्रीवेंस लेके जाते हैं कोर्ट पे, तो ये स्टेज जब आती है जब प्लीडिंग्स कंप्लीट हो जाती है, उस स्टेज पे पार्टीज आर अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट इज द डिस्प्यूट बिटवीन देम, few facts which are admitted by party, few facts which are disputed by party. Now, आपको अपना एग्जामिनेशन इन चीफ उस डिस्प्यूट को फ्रेमवर्क में अपनी स्टोरी के फॉर्म में रखना होता है, और वो ये कह के रखते हैं कि जो मैं कह रहा हूँ वो ही सच है, एंड देयर इज अ ट्रूथ फ्रेम। एग्जामिनेशन इन चीफ में उस विटनेस का जिसका दूसरी पार्टी को क्रॉस एग्जामिन करना है वो अपना ट्रूथ रखता है। हमारे सिस्टम में वी आर इन द एडवर्सरियल सिस्टम, एंड आई विल से इट वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट हियर कि हम हर बात को डिनाई करते हैं। ये कल्चर क्यों डेवलप हुआ मुझे नहीं पता, बट ये कल्चर डेवलप हो चुका है यहाँ पे कि अगर वो ये कहता है कि आई एम ए सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया, वो कहेगा आई डिस्प्यूटेड।
Correct.
He says I am a resident of Uttar Pradesh. He says no, he is not a resident. But the question is, this is not a dispute which the party want to resolve. वो आदमी उत्तर प्रदेश का है कि वो सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया का है कि उसकी प्रॉपर्टी कहाँ है, ये डिस्प्यूट में नहीं है. डिस्प्यूट में तो कुछ और है, वो डिस्प्यूट करता है. Now, since he is disputing it in his written statement, the person has no option but to put it in examination chief. तो आपने देखा कि examination chief बहुत बड़ा रहता है. They lose sight. जब क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन की स्टेज आती है तो आपको आपने देखा होगा, अगर आप क्रिमिनल लॉ देखेंगे तो 139 to 166 के अंदर एविडेंस एक्ट है. अब जो मैंने देखा 142 से 167 में डैमेज की पर फॉर्मेट चेंज इन्होंने चेंज कर दिया, बाकी सबसे वही है सर.
Same.
तो क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन में आपको बेसिकली देखना है, you challenge the credibility of the witness. You want to justify कि what has been narrated in the examination chief is not the correct story. These facts are not correct as being projected by the plaintiff or by the prosecution in the case of criminal case. Apart from cross-examination, dispute is hard. But ये जब पॉसिबल है आपके लिए कि जब आपने एग्जामिनेशन चीफ के साथ साथ आपने पूरे केस की स्टडी कर रखी है. और मैं आपको इस प्लेटफॉर्म से कहना चाहूँगा, अगर वो क्रिमिनल केस है तो बिफोर यू क्रॉस एग्जामिन, मेरी आपसे इस प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से सभी वकीलों से रिक्वेस्ट होगी कि आप साइट का मुआयना जरूर करें, साइट इंस्पेक्शन करें, देखें किस साइट पे इंसिडेंट हुआ है, किस समय हुआ है. साइट प्लान बनाएं अपना, प्रोसिक्यूशन का अपना साइट प्लान होगा, अपना साइट प्लान बनाएं और उसके बाद केस की स्टडी करने के बाद इसका छोटा सा इंस्टेंस में दूंगा. अगर इंसिडेंट नवंबर का महीना है, शाम के 7 बजे हैं, डिस्टेंस 500 मीटर पे है जहाँ पे इंसिडेंट हुआ है, और कोई विटनेस कहता है मैंने देखा, तो आप ये पूछ सकते हो कि अगर नवंबर का महीना है, पिच डार्क हो चुका है, कोई लैंप पोस्ट आसपास नहीं है, कोई शॉप वहां पे नहीं है, तो ये इम्पॉसिबल है कोई आदमी विजुअल फ्रेंडली, चाहे आप मेडिकल एक्सपर्ट्स में चाहे किसी से भी. इसका मतलब अगर कोई आई विटनेस इस बात को सपोर्ट करता है तो गलत करता है. नाउ यू हैव टू जस्टिफाई इन योर क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन कि जिस विटनेस को ये आई विटनेस प्रोड्यूस करके ला रहे हैं, ये विटनेस सच्चा नहीं है और ही इज नॉट आई विटनेस. वो जब पॉसिबल है जब आपके पास साइट प्लान है, आपके पास उस बात को देखने का तजुर्बा है और आपने वो एग्जामिनेशन इन चीफ पढ़ा है कि उससे रिकवरी क्या हुई है, रिकवरी कहाँ से हुई है. तो इन चीज़ों को ध्यान में रखते हुए जब तक आप एग्जामिनेशन नहीं करेंगे, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू सक्सीड इन योर क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन. और आपको करना क्या है, यू वांट टू जस्टिफाई this is not the truth what he has stated, but what coming forward in the cross examination is the truth. That is the only way by which you can ask the court to justify and find out what is the truth, whether it is examination chief or this witness is a hostile witness or this is a witness which can't be relied on. So जब भी possible है जब आपकी thorough study on the subject. Subject means on facts. डॉक्टर जरूरत नहीं पड़ता.
As you beautifully described the cross-examination, I'll put a follow-up question to you only. So, what is the role of an expert witness and how should it be presented or challenged before the court?
हम देखेंगे मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन है, इंजरी के बारे में आपको डिस्क्राइब करना है तो आपको मेडिकल एविडेंस लानी ही पड़ेगी. और मोदी की मेडिकल से काम नहीं चलेगा. यू हैव टू ब्रिंग द डॉक्टर जस्टिफाई कि ये जो इंजरी है ये किस नेचर की है, ये ग्रीवियस है, तो ये अगर उससे रिकवरी की कोई ब्लंट वेपन की हुई है और इंजरी ग्रीवियस है, इसका मतलब रिकवरी गलत है. और ये तो डॉक्टर प्रूव करेगा कि जो इंजरी है शार्प एज वेपन से हो सकती है. और अगर आपके एक्यूज के से रिकवरी ब्लंट वेपन की हुई है, then it is only can justify corroborate. If injury is grievous, it can be only by some sharp-edged weapon. Recovery of a blunt weapon it means this person who has been accused and who is being tried for an offense of hurting a grievous injury is false. The testimony is false. That is possible only by medical evidence. You can't testify by the accused or by the prosecution. So that is the way why medical evidence come forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So my next question is to Mr. Mithilesh, sir. Sir, अगर मैं आपसे कम शब्द में पूछना चाहूँ कि ऐसे कौन से टेक्निक्स हैं जो आप यंग एडवोकेट्स को सर I was asking what are the top 3 techniques that he would recommend to our young advocates that they must learn to conduct an effective cross examination.
What are the 3 techniques for effective cross examination
That you would recommend to our young advocates who have joined through our life.
Yeah, I want to recommend, I want to give some basic tips to our first generation lawyers कि क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन को हम कैसे करें कि हम सच्चाई को सामने ला पाए। तो एग्जामिनेशन के 2 भाग, एक एग्जामिनेशन इन चीफ जैसा कि सर ने बताया, एग्जामिनेशन का मतलब होता है परीक्षा। एग्जामिनेशन इन चीफ में परीक्षा किसकी होती है? जो विटनेस को लाता है। और क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन क्या होता है? जो विटनेस को नहीं लाता है, जो एडवर्स पार्टी है वो क्रॉस करती है ट्रूथ जानने के लिए। अब जो टेक्निक है वो बेसिकली 2 टेक्निक है, लीडिंग क्वेश्चन पूछने का और नॉन लीडिंग क्वेश्चन पूछने का। मैं बहुत शॉर्ट में 2 मिनट में अगर बताऊं तो लीडिंग क्वेश्चन वो होता है जिसमें आंसर छिपा होता है कि आप जब कल खान मार्केट गए थे तो वहां क्या हुआ था, तो मतलब खान मार्केट गए थे ये हम बता रहे हैं, क्वेश्चन में ही आंसर छिपा हुआ होता है। तो जब आप एक्यूज को जानेंगे, उसके फैक्ट्स को पढ़ेंगे, तभी आप लीडिंग क्वेश्चन पूछ पाएंगे। दूसरा होता है नॉन लीडिंग क्वेश्चन। नॉन लीडिंग क्वेश्चन में आंसर हमेशा न और हाँ, यस और नो में आता है, उसमें विटनेस को ज्यादा बोलने का चांस नहीं दिया जाता है। ऐसे करके आप क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन पढ़ा सकते हैं। अब क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन करने के लिए ठीक से मतलब क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन का पर्पस क्या है कि क्रेडिबिलिटी जांचना कि जो विटनेस आया हो उसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी कितनी है, उसकी वेरासिटी कितनी है। तो इसके 2-3 स्टेप्स है। पहला इम्पीचमेंट क्वेश्चन, जो पहला यंग लॉ से करना चाहिए कि इम्पीचमेंट क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहिए। ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहिए जिससे जज साहब को लगे कि इसके विश्वसनीयता पे सवाल उठाया जा सकता है। क्वेश्चन आप ऐसे ही फ्रेम कर सकते हैं कि क्या एक्यूज और आप बचपन में साथ पढ़ते थे, स्कूलिंग में आप लोगों ने स्कूलिंग साथ किया है, या क्या आप नेबर हैं। तो उसे लगा कि एक्यूज और विटनेस जो है दोनों की कोई ना कोई जान पहचान है। आप ऐसे ही पूछ सकते हैं कि क्या एक्यूज से आपकी कभी लड़ाई हुई है, आप ये साबित कर रहे हैं कि दोनों में पहले से दुश्मनी है, मतलब उसकी विश्वसनीयता पे सवाल खड़े करते हैं। आप ऐसे ही पूछ सकते हैं कि क्या पुलिस के समक्ष पहले भी आपने कोई गलत बयान किया है, क्या फॉल्स विटनेस देने के लिए आपको कभी सजा हुई है। तो इससे 2 चीजें होती है, विश्वसनीयता पे सवाल उठता है और क्लाइंट अगर गलत है विटनेस तो वो फिर हॉस्टाइल होने लगता है। दूसरा क्या है कि आपको हाईलाइट करना है। एक और 2 टेक्निक बता रहा हूं। एक, क्लाइंट के विश्वसनीयता पे सवाल खड़े करने के लिए आपको इम्पीचमेंट क्वेश्चन पूछना है। दूसरा, क्लाइंट आपको हाईलाइट करना है मोटिव, विटनेस का मोटिव हाईलाइट करने के लिए क्यों आया है। तो उससे पूछना है क्या आपका ये जो आप लाए हैं, जिसके फेवर में आपने एग्जामिनेशन चीफ का मकसद क्या होता है, कोर्ट को फैक्ट्स बताना और एक्चुअल जो केस है वो सामने रखना है। तो विटनेस का मोटिव हाईलाइट कीजिए कि आप यहाँ कोर्ट क्यों आए हैं, आप उससे रिलेटिव है, कब से जानते हैं। तो मोटिव के लिए एक और क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं आप। 2 टिप में एक और देता हूँ शॉर्ट टिप्स कि क्वेश्चन चैलेंजिंग द एक्सपर्टाइज एंड नॉलेज। ये एक्सपर्ट विटनेस पूछा जाता है, उसके एक्सपर्टाइज को चैलेंज करने के लिए। जैसे कि डॉक्टर बोलता है, जैसे कि सर ने बोला, हमारे जज साहब ने बोला कि वो ब्लंट से हथियार और साफ वेपन, जैसे कि आप पूछते हैं अगर डॉक्टर से कि चोट कैसे लगी, वो बोलता है जी एक्यूज ने इसको पत्थर से मारा। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आपका ये होना चाहिए कि क्या अगर दीवार से टकरा जाए तो ऐसे ही चोट लगेगा क्या। अगर वो हाँ बोलता है या ना बोलता है, हाँ बोलता है तो मतलब उस चोट के ऊपर आपने सवाल खड़े कर दिए। ये मेडिकल विटनेस में करना चाहिए। तो ना वी हैव टू रेज क्वेश्चंस ऑन द क्रेडिबिलिटी ऑफ द विटनेस। इस तरह से हम कर सकते हैं।
सर, ऑन अ फॉलो-अप क्वेश्चन विद मुरारी सर, सर व्हाट क्या स्ट्रैटेजी अपनानी चाहिए क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन को फ्रॉम अ लॉयर्स पर्सपेक्टिव, एक वकील के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से क्या एक स्ट्रैटेजी होनी चाहिए क्रॉस करते समय, और क्या आप सलाह देंगे कि जो बेस्ट स्ट्रैटेजी आपको लगती है आपके इनॉर्मस एक्सपीरियंस को लेकर? व्हाट इज द स्ट्रैटेजी शुड द लॉयर शुड adopt while doing the cross examination, and what is the opinion sir has with regard to his enormous experience at the bar?
Broadly, we can divide the entire legal practice in two heads. One is criminal proceeding and one is civil. By the passage of time, by the amendment in CPC, what has happened, the examination in chief culture has gone away. Because now there is amendment that whatever you want to depose in examination in chief, that will be deposed by way of affidavit.
Evidence by way of affidavit.
So when sir we joined the bar, or you must have faced that situation, when we were bringing a plaintiff witness, so that was very difficult to get record his examination in chief, and half of the case used to go away in that examination in chief. But now after amendment, so in civil side, examination in chief is not a question now. You can prepare affidavit in civil law. In civil law, you can prepare your affidavit in sitting in chamber, and now it is a headache of the defense counsel and the other side defendant's counsel. He will face it. In criminal side, the situation is still as it is, that the prosecution witness has to depose orally in the court. And now your question is very vital. Sometimes we commit blunder at our own being a defendant counsel. We have not to admit, we have to be very cautious about admission. We have not to admit the other side case in any way. We have to be very cautious about that. Admission should not be at our part. And we have to nullify their claim. Right? So, in civil and criminal, I believe that a lawyer has to create a defense in his mind and, the stand for opposition in both the cases, and I think the more or less the way of preparation is same. So, you have to nullify the other side. So, in that case, it differs from case to case. And you have to take out at least some documents, or Sir Justice Rastogi has pointed out that in case you are visiting at the site, or in criminal cases more particularly, and in case you are going deeper in fact, so you can dispute the presence of the witnesses, you can dispute many aspects. It will differ from person to person, and it is all a matter of IQ of that particular judge. Because in criminal side I have noticed and seen in courts many times we commit a lot of blunder. Even in case prosecution fails to prove its case and we put such a blunder question, we commit blunder and we get admitted the prosecution case. So that should not be done. We have to be cautious on that aspect. That is very important. And in civil side, now the things are not for re-examination also, because everything comes in affidavit. So in civil side, the things are now quite different. Only defendant evidence is left, and you have to be very cautious. So far as leading questions are concerned, you have to be cautious in criminal cases, because prosecutors most of the time they put a lot of leading questions to the prosecution witnesses, with the reason that by the lapse of time the witnesses they are not able to depose orally. So at that moment you have to be very cautious, because unless you will not object, the judicial officer, he will not mind it that what prosecutor is getting recorded. But you have to be very cautious. In case he is putting anything leading, then you can object then and there, and that can be recorded also, and that can be considered by the judge. The Honorable Court never allow for any leading question to the prosecutor.
Sir, since you mentioned leading question, so Sir Justice Rastogi sir, I have a very brief question for you. Sir, how can a young lawyer decide whether to cross-examine at all, and if so, how to set objectives? Because we have seen and we have heard that know what you want to elicit. So how the questions have to be framed while we are putting it up to any particular witness, especially in cross-examination?
इसका मैं आपको केवल इतना बताना चाहूँगा कि कभी ऐसा क्वेश्चन क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन में ना पूछे इसका आंसर आपके पास नहीं है, क्योंकि जब आप क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं तो आपको आंसर पता होना चाहिए। If you are unable to do it, please don't ask that question because it will create trouble for you. और एक आंसर में से दूसरा क्वेश्चन निकलता है. जैसे मिस्टर शाह ने बताया, आपको पहले विटनेस को कंफर्टेबल करना पड़ेगा. उससे बड़े जनरल क्वेश्चंस पूछे. नाम क्या है, पिताजी का नाम कहाँ है, कहाँ के रहने वाले हो, काम क्या करते हो, घर में कौन कौन है. जस्ट टू नो अबाउट हिज बैकग्राउंड. लीडिंग क्वेश्चन जैसा बताया मैंने आपको, नहीं पूछो कभी भी, इसका आंसर आपके पास नहीं है. दूसरा, अपने यहाँ जो सिस्टम डेवलप हो गया है, क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर कोड में प्रोविजन है कि आपको डे टू डे क्रॉस एग्जामिन करना पड़ेगा विटनेस को. सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट भी है कि अगर आज क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन नहीं हुआ आप कल करें, कल छुट्टी है तो परसों करें, बट यू डे टू डे. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली इन आवर जुडिशियल सिस्टम, अगर एक विटनेस का आज क्रॉस एग्जामिन हुआ है पार्टली, तो उसका सेकंड क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन जो होगा वो 3 महीने बाद आएगा. दिस इज, in my view, is affecting the judicial system. The criminal justice system is going to be damaged, being damaged only because of this tactics we can have. मैं मैजिस्ट्रेट से भी कहना चाहूँगा, मैं लॉयर से भी रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगा, क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन डे टू डे होना ही चाहिए. इट्स द मैंडेट ऑफ लॉ. तो जो लॉयर क्रॉस एग्जामिन कर रहा है उसका काम क्या है? To elicit the truth, so that justice can be done between the parties. अगर मैं prosecution का, what do you know, that I am putting before the court, what is the story of the prosecution which has been derived during the course of investigation. Accused किया वकील ने, तो you have to justify that my client was never on the scene, but he has been also made accused. सही गलत ईश्वर जानता है, आप हम नहीं जानते. अगर जस्टिफिकेशन आपका क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन में यही होगा, हाउ टू फाइंड आउट द फॉल्ट इन द एग्जामिनेशन इन चीफ इन अ क्रिमिनल मैटर. इन सिविल मैटर्स द थिंग्स आर क्वाइट डिफरेंट, और ये दोनों आपस में कोइंसाइड नहीं करती. जैसा बताया, सिविल मैटर्स में जब से एग्जामिनेशन चीफ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एफिडेविट आ गया है, गॉड नोज वेयर द बॉल स्टार्ट रोलिंग. द होल प्लेन कन्वर्ट्स इनटू एग्जामिनेशन चीफ. And the kind of cross-examination goes on, I don't think how the things will follow in times to come forward. But in criminal matters, cross-examination आप जब ही कर पाएंगे जब आपको पूरी मार्शलिंग ऑफ फैक्ट्स है और आप अपने चेम्बर में बैठ करके क्वेश्चंस बनाएंगे कि what questions you want to put to a witness in reference to that particular person who's being cross-examined. क्योंकि उसका एग्जामिनेशन चीफ नहीं है, उसकी प्रोसिक्यूशन का जो स्टेटमेंट्स है वो है, उस पे आप उसको क्रॉस एग्जामिन करना, और उसका एग्जामिनेशन नहीं होता है. पर पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर ओरली ही कराता है उसके एग्जामिनेशन. देन यू हैव टू नोट डाउन एंड देन ओनली यू विल एबल टू क्रॉस एग्जामिन द विटनेस इन द प्रॉपर वे. That is the skill which you develop by process of time.
Sir, thank you for your insight. Sir, a very follow-up question, to you only. Since sir mentioned that a lawyer should sit in his chamber and prepare all the questions that he has to ask the next day during the examination. Sir, for those lawyers who never get to see real trials, how can they learn to examine or cross-examine, and can these skills be learned without any trial experience per se?
Sir, there is a difference between the good surgeon, better surgeon, and the best surgeon.
Sir.
Good surgeons knows to operate.
Sir.
Better surgeon knows when to operate.
Sir.
Best surgeon knows when not to operate.
Sir.
Like that, a good lawyer, better lawyer, best lawyer.
Sir.
Good lawyer putting a question how to cross-examine.
Sir.
Better lawyer, what to cross-examine.
Sir.
And best lawyer, what to be questioned. In fact, some of the matters where the prosecutor failed to elicit a particular thing from the witness, defense lawyer unknowingly elicit the same answer from the witness. That's a clear thing. So, the lawyer who is expert in cross-examination, first thing, he must know the facts, complete facts, number one. Number two, he must read complete 161 statement, other documents, like FIR, other documents and all. Number three, and the background of the man. like Ajay said, background of the man. What is the motive for him to make content? What is the reason for him? He may be a setup witness, or sometimes he may be a real witness, but gives a lot of things and all, which is filled up by the defense counsel in front of prosecutions. So the cross-examination matter is something great. The best cross-examiner is not to cross-examine. Suppose if the chief and all, nothing there, you don't put a question there. Be careful, but be thorough with that. That is the cross-examination. Number one. I want to say one incident in which I was judge and all, where 430 CRPC, anticipated debate. In Tamil Nadu, a man, MLA, he has just used to grab the properties. He threatened to grab the property. He filed an application for anticipated bail. He came before me as a judge. I can give anticipated bail or I can reject it. The point is, we have to see the antecedents also. Whether lot of cases, if anticipated will granted to him, what is the impact? If anticipated not granted, what is the impact? All these things we have to see that. That matter, he belongs to a particular political party. And he has got a 15 previous cases. If I grant anticipated bail, he will commit more offences. So that is the reason I asked him question. You belong to a particular political party. Did you go through the Mahatma Gandhi's book, Satya Sodhane, my experience book? He said, sir, I have not read it. If you ask me, I read it. So shall I put a condition? Yes. Then I granted anticipated bail, subject to condition, to go to Madurai Gandhi Museum or read the Gandhi books daily. That's the condition. After 1 month, he filed an application for relaxation, saying that for 1 month I have been reading, please put any question to me about Gandhi books, I will answer. Or just to modify, I will come to Chennai, Madras, and Prasavakam constituency, I will report there. That is the reason I modified. Then subsequently he got completely reformed. Then he filed an application. See that we have got a power, justice. We have to understand, law is one thing. The ends of justice are higher than the law. Though the law has to be administered in accordance with the law. Though there is justice, is a Krishna word, justice has got to be. Justice means you must have judicial conscience, unbiased attitude, sincerity, tolerance, integrity, courtesy, equity. Judicial conscience, J. That unbiased attitude, U. Sincerity, yes. Tolerance, T. Integrity, I. C. Courtesy, E. Equity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, before we conclude, sir, and due to the time constraint that we have, I would like to pose one final question to Justice Ajay Rastogi, sir. Sir, if you were to introduce just one real-world skill training in law school curriculum, again coming back to the question that we had already revisited, and also with respect to the program that Mr. Mithilesh sir is intending to proceed with, so that one real-world skill training in law school curriculum that would genuinely prepare young advocates for trial courts, what would be, sir?
मेरा तो एडवाइस यही होगा कैरिकुलम को थोड़ा बेंड करें और आज की डिमांड और रिक्वायरमेंट को मीट करता हुआ नया कैरिकुलम चेंज करें। और दूसरा ये मूड कोर्ट चलते हैं, ये बड़ा मोनोटोनस हो गया है
सर।
मैंने बहुत सारे मूड कोर्स अटेंड किए, जो प्रॉब्लम्स पे वो मूड कोर्ट करते हैं वो उन स्टूडेंट्स ने कभी देखा ही नहीं। इंग्लिश लॉ है, ब्रिटिश का लॉ है, अमेरिकन आर्बिट्रेशंस पे हैं, उन्होंने कभी ये सब्जेक्ट नहीं देखे। मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ आप मूड कोर्ट करें, वो रेगुलर आपकी डेली की जो प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करते हैं उस पर करें। बच्चों को रियलिटी पता होनी चाहिए, ग्राउंड रियलिटी, कि किस तरीके का हमारा कॉमन मैन अपना ग्रीवेंस फेस करता है, उस पर मूड कोर्ट होना चाहिए। आप 138 पे मूड कोर्ट करें। दिस इज वन ऑफ द burning dispute which is going on every day. Hold your moot court on a regular crime, nature of crime, which you are coming across every day. आपको सिविल CPC में करना है तो आप स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस में ना करें, आप करें रियल एस्टेट के बिजनेस के ऊपर। अब ऐसे मैटर्स पे करें जो डे टू डे प्रॉब्लम्स आपके सामने अब आती हैं। आप फैमिली डिस्प्यूट पे करें, अगर फैमिली में डिस्प्यूट्स होते हैं प्रॉपर्टीज को लेकर के, बिजनेस को लेकर के, तो हाउ दीज प्रॉब्लम्स कैन बी रिजॉल्व थ्रू द प्रोसेस ऑफ मूड कोर्ट। बच्चों के समझ में आएगा स्टूडेंट्स के लिए। आप क्या ले जाते हैं इंटरनेशनल आर्बिट्रेशन। आई हैव अटेंडेड सर्टेन मूड कोर्ट्स, द कंट्रोवर्सी इज रेफरेंस टू लिक्विडेटेड डैमेजेस इन इंटरनेशनल आर्बिट्रेशन। उन स्टूडेंट्स ने कभी एलडी नहीं समझा कि एलडी होता क्या है, उनको ये नहीं पता इंटरनेशनल आर्बिट्रेशन के स्कोप क्या है, उनको ये नहीं पता लॉ क्या सब्जेक्ट पे डेवलप हो रहा है। अब वो क्या करते हैं, सब गूगल पे जाते हैं, गूगल से नोट डाउन करते हैं एंड दे स्टार्ट मेकिंग रिपीटेशन देयर। अगर इसको आप प्रैक्टिकल बनाएंगे, मूक कोर्स को डेवलप करेंगे, स्किल बच्चों स्टूडेंट्स में आएगी, वो स्किल दो प्रैक्टिकल स्किल वहाँ होगी दैट कैन बी इंट्रोड्यूस्ड फॉर देयर बेटर फ्यूचर एज अ लॉयर।
थैंक यू सर। सो बेसिकली सर आप कह रहे हैं जो मिथिलेश सर का आइडिया है वही एक्चुअली इनकॉर्पोरेट करना
सर मैं
चाहिए।
अपनी तरफ से सॉरी, मैं जस्टिस मोदी साहब से ये बोलना चाहूँगा सर कि जब मैं शुरू किया था लॉ लर्निंग बेंच को, शुरुआती दिनों में जस्टिस मोदी साहब से मिला था, इनका ब्लेसिंग्स भी लिया था मैंने, और इनके एडवाइस ही एडवाइजरी बोर्ड पर मैंने आने का आग्रह भी किया। तो मैं ये चाहूँगा सर कि लॉ लर्निंग बेंच में हम बिल्कुल बेयर एक्ट नहीं सिखा रहे हैं, प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग सिखा रहे हैं, जिसको हम और कैसे बेहतर कर सकते हैं, ये मेरा पर्सनल क्वेश्चन है एज ए फाउंडर मेंबर ऑफ द लॉ लर्निंग बेंच। सर हमें कम से कम 3 सजेशन दीजिए जो हम इसमें ऐड कर सके सर।
पहली बात तो मैं लॉ लर्निंग बेंच को ही बहुत अपनी तरफ से शाबाश दूंगा, मैं कांग्रेचुलेट करूंगा कि आपने एक अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म इनिशिएट किया है। पांडे जी बहुत गुड फॉर यू यू हैव टेकन दिस लीड। मैं देखता हूँ बहुत सोचते सब है, हम भी सोचते हैं, बहुत से सोचते हैं, मगर हाउ टू टेक अ लीड। पांडे जी ने लीड ली, इसको आगे बढ़ाया। आई थिंक ऑल टीम नीड्स अप्रिसिएशन एंड कांग्रेचुलेशन फ्रॉम माय साइड। सेकेंड, इसको आप थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिकल में और लें।
जी
वही जानना चाहते हैं सर, हमारे साथ सब कैसे
किसी
करें।
पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे ही सेंट्रलाइज करें। जो सब्जेक्ट्स बर्निंग टॉपिक्स आपके सामने आते हैं, नॉट पॉलिटिकल, टेक बर्निंग टॉपिक्स। आपने जो कंट्रोवर्सी प्रॉब्लम चलती है डे टू डे लाइफ की, आपने किसी फैमिली लॉ का प्रॉब्लम दिया, सबसे पूछा इसका आंसर क्या होना चाहिए, हाउ द प्रॉब्लम फैमिली मैटर्स कैन बी रिजॉल्व। जो सुन रहे हैं इस इंसिडेंट को, वो देखेंगे कि अगर फैमिली लॉ का मैटर मेरे पास आएगा तो व्हाट आर द बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स फॉर फैमिली कस्टम्स एंड लॉज व्हिच आई नीड टू परफॉर्म माई सेल्फ। क्योंकि आज की तारीख में हम सब पे मास्टर्स नहीं कर सकते, स्पेशलाइज का जमाना है। आप देखेंगे लॉयर से पूछते हैं आप कहाँ प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, आई एम ए सिविल लॉयर। ही इज अ लॉयर बट ही से आई एम ए सिविल लॉयर। अदर विल से आई एम ए क्रिमिनल लॉयर। आई विल से आई एम ए कॉर्पोरेट लॉयर। नाउ ट्राइब्यूनल्स बन रहे हैं तो एनसीएलटी एलटी के जो लॉयर चलते हैं, जो है कॉम्पिटिशन कमीशन। एवरी सब्जेक्ट इज ए कॉम्पिटिटिव नाउ, यू हैव ए थ्रेडबेयर नॉलेज ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट। तो मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, आप एक पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट, एक टॉपिक लें किसी का पर्टिकुलर, नॉट जनरल, और उस पर डिस्कशन करें। उसके जो मास्टर्स हैं, जिनका उस पर एक्सपीरियंस है, उनको बुलाएं। एटलीस्ट जो आपके व्यूअर्स हैं, दे विल कम टू नो, अगर उनके सामने ऐसी कोई कंट्रोवर्सी आती है, देन दे विल recapitulate from this discussion which is taking place, and they can use that discussion.
what they should do.
Yes, how they can amend themselves and make the point which make their working, their advocacy skill, their subject, their matter, their client better to inform about the subject.
Right.
That is mine.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to now conclude this panel discussion.
1 मिनट मोर सर। एक्चुअली हम लोगों का लॉ लर्निंग बेंच हमने बनाया, और आप हमारे साथ शुरू से साथ हैं सर। हम लोग का सपना था जो सोनीपत से या पटना, बिहार, बलिया, इधर रिमोट एरिया से आते हैं, पंजाब से, राजस्थान में, जयपुर के आगे से आते हैं, उनका इतने पैसे नहीं होते सर कि वो 25 लाख 30 लाख वाले लॉयर कर पाए। तो हम एक लॉयर का ऐसा बैच तैयार करना चाहते हैं जो कि लाख रुपया 2 लाख रुपया लेके वही आर्गूमेंट करे। इसीलिए सर मैंने आपसे सजेशन लिया, और आपने सजेशन दिया, इसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और मैं सर से भी चाहूंगा सर, हमें कोई 2 टिप्स बताएं सर, माय लॉर्डशिप, कोई 2 टिप्स बताएं सर, इंग्लिश, either English or Hindi. You give me only 2 tips, 2 bullet point, how to improve the advocacy skill. What curriculum we should include in our curriculum? Just 2 points, sir.
Today, learning some law one thing, I have learned Hindi also today. अच्छा सोचे, अच्छा बोले, अच्छा करे, अच्छा ही होगा।
Thank you, sir. Now
These are all education. शिक्षा जीवन के लिए, जीवन प्रेम के लिए, प्रेम मानव के लिए, मानव समाज के लिए,
some are sensor के लिए, sensor के लिए. These are all
He
education.
also saying same thing.
How to make a successful career and all. Be thorough. Have a character. Be disciplined. Everything. Don't compare yourself with third person. This is important thing. Don't compare yourself with third person. Compare yourself of last week yourself. Compare yourself last month yourself. Last year yourself. Then improve. Work hard regardless of the reward. The idea is work itself the reward.
Thank you, sir.
Work hard. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So I would now like to conclude this panel discussion, sir. So, as we draw this enlightening and thought-provoking session to a close, it is my honor and privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of Team Law Learning Bench and the entire organizing team. First and foremost, I extend our deepest gratitude to our esteemed panelists, Honorable Mr. Justice Ajay Rastogi, former Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice M. Karpaga Vinayagam, former Chief Justice Jharkhand High Court, Mr. Murali Tiwari, former Chairman Bar Council of Delhi, Mr. Amit Singh, Advocate Supreme Court of India, Mr. Mithilesh Kumar Pandey, Advocate Supreme Court of India, for sharing their invaluable insights, experiences and practical perspectives. Your words, sir, have truly inspired our learners and ignited new ways of thinking in the legal domain. A special thanks to our distinguished audience, the law students, young professionals and members of the legal fraternity for their enthusiastic participation that enriched today's discussions. I would like also to thank our academic and technical support teams for their tireless efforts behind the scenes, ensuring smooth execution of this session. Finally, let me conclude by saying that this is not the end, but rather the beginning of an exciting journey of legal learning and transformation. Let's continue to engage, question, and evolve together. With warm regards and best wishes, thank you and Jai Hind.
Thanks you for both.
Thank you so much.